critic Lisa Nettleton. Hello, Lisa. Good to see
Claire.
you. Now, I have to say my first reaction when I saw this was not another movie with Scarlett Johansson. I mean, as much as we love her, she is all over the place. Today, she is out in Lucy. Is this film worth seeing?
This was a terrific surprise for me. It's compact. It's a very entertaining movie. I have French colleagues who think Scarlett Johansson can't act, and I beg to differ. I think she's perfect in this role. In fact, I think she's almost always an asset to a film. Luc Besson is another matter. With a few exceptions early in his career, I have to say, I found most of the films that Besson himself has directed irritating. But here he unabashedly employs the whole arsenal of movie-making techniques, and he does it at breakneck speed, and so this time it works. At least it works for me. It's a movie about using 100% of your brain, which absolutely requires you to check your brain at the door. You know it's spectacularly idiotic while you're watching it, but you don't care. Let's watch.
I need help. It's urgent.
You cannot be in here. We are operating. Please, get out.
You wouldn't have been able to save him anyway. Tumor already invaded the cortex on the right side of the spine. Somebody put a bag of drugs in me. I need you to remove it. It's leaking. Do it now.
Right. I'll just administer a local anesthetic.
Don't bother.
Wow, so who is this Lucy?
Well, Lucy is an American abroad who is probably just about motivated enough to find the nearest Starbucks or the nearest club. But then when somebody, you know, devilish people that they are, puts this bag of illicit, incredibly designer drugs into her body, she becomes smart enough to, I'd say, broker peace in the Middle East and solve all human problems from Ebola to the Ukraine to possibly Ferguson, Missouri. Of course, she doesn't use her knockout capabilities to do anything like that because she's bent on revenge and the clock is ticking. Morgan Freeman adds gravitas as a neuroscientist who gets to intone majestically and gapes in awe at Lucy's ever-growing powers. And by the way, once you've seen Lucy, and I do sort of encourage you to see it, look up the point-by-point evisceration of all its incongruities on the website of The Atlantic. I guarantee you will laugh yourself.
This is a
Okay, I'll be
police
sure to
car.
check it out. So we're going to move from a fast-paced movie that lasts 89 minutes to a Turkish film that won the top prize in Cannes this year. It's called Winter Sleep, and that goes on for 3 hours and 16 minutes. Did it deserve the prize, top prize?
So, you know, I'll get to the thing about length, but it's a fine film, but that said, it didn't grab me personally as much as I wanted it to. A Turkish man of means and his much younger wife and cranky sister are living in the striking Anatolian village where he owns property, including a hotel. Like the title says, it's winter. They're sort of hibernating. The characters talk a lot, but they don't always say what they mean. The central character may be a reasonable man, or he may be an imperious jerk. Information is doled out quite gradually. Some characters take a warm roof over their heads for granted, and others struggle for every cup of tea they drink in a precarious world. And it's true, it lasts over 3 hours, but that's not an unusual amount of time to watch a sporting event, or a lot of people binge on series television now for longer than that. For some people, a longer film is kind of frightening, but I can wholeheartedly recommend two longish films currently available, 2 hours and 40 minutes for Richard Linklater's Boyhood, and also Otto Preminger's 1959 Anatomy of a Murder, currently in re-released here in Paris.
Boyhood is great. I've seen that. Definitely recommend
We
that
agree.
one. Okay, also out today in France is another film that made a splash in Cannes.
Les Combattants, Love at First Fight is the translation into English, is a first film by Frenchman Thomas Caillet, and I absolutely adore it. You know, every year about 270 films are made here in France. Of those, roughly a third are first-time films. And of those, if you're lucky, maybe 2 or 3 jump out at you and you say, yes, yes, that is a director with talent. This movie about a guy who meets a very determined girl feels absolutely original. And the tone, which is both funny and serious, doesn't completely come across in this clip, but let's watch anyway.
Oh!
Je veux m'inscrire.
Qu'est-ce qui est fou avec mes tuiles, celle-là? C'est bizarre comment tu nages.
C'est rien de bizarre, c'est une nage de combat.
Une quoi?
Une nage de combat, laisse tomber.
Bah putain, si c'est ça les meufs cet été, merci et vive la France. Hein.
Tu penses que je suis folle?
Well, I'm sold, Lisa. I saw the full trailer and I think it's definitely a must-see. Thank you very much for taking us through some of the movie releases, Lisa. We'll see you soon. All right, time now for our sports roundup, starting off with some football.